I've known Nancy Pelosi and been working with her since 1994.
I interviewed her this week.
Since 1994.
For 90 minutes.
So a quarter of a century I've known Nancy Pelosi. I can tell you Nancy Pelosi is tougher today.
Sharp as a tack.
You know, sometimes you just can't make this stuff up. You have one idiot defending another idiot, trying to convince you and I that they're really smart. Hi, it's Pastor Marty from the Afternoon Drive. And that was Mika Brzezinski, the pole dancing sidekick of the morning schmuck, Joe Scarborough, over there on the Morning Schmuck Show. And of course, they are incensed, they are outraged that President Trump would actually try to portray Nancy Botox Pelosi as insane, crazy, incompetent, unable to put coherent sentences together. But that's all true. You know, they are using right now the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media, and CNN is leading the charge on this, a little video clip that, yes, Rudy Giuliani tweeted out showing Nancy Pelosi slurring her words, and it turns out the video was doctored. Who doctored it? Who knows? Was it put out there by somebody on the right trying to emphasize the fact that Nancy is incoherent? Was it done actually as a deep state fake to try to provide cover fire that any of these video clips that you see of Nancy Pelosi as being incoherent, they have obviously been tampered with, they're obviously all fraudulent, which is not the case. This one video clip that they are talking about, it does appear definitely to have been heavily doctored. Who did it and why? That becomes the great question. But in all of this, what's being lost is the truth. Nancy Pelosi is completely incompetent and incoherent.
I love coming here this week that we observe the birth of our presidents, in particular George, our founding father, and our founding mother, George Washington and Martha Washington. We followed his lead on protecting the butterfly sanctuary, the knowledge that he has of the region, being a border member of Congress, and what that meant was we would have hundreds of millions of dollars, and we had the opportunity to meet with David Higgerson, the director of field for the CPD detection. But that's what will happen on Monday. Mr. Castro's resolution will go to the Rules Committee. Again, I thank my friend here, my colleague, Mr. Cuellar, and now it's more there's so much more immigration needs here. That helps the Border Patrol because this isn't what their job was before.
One of the CNN commentators recently said, you know, it's really not even funny or pleasant to watch anymore the way that Nancy Pelosi manages to land all of her jabs against the president, but he's been unable to put a glove on her. Really? You're kidding, right? Have you forgotten that it wasn't the Republicans pushing back and not wanting Nancy Pelosi to be Speaker of the House? It was the Democrats. She had a real run for it this last time around. And why was that? Well, you've got the progressives who don't feel she's progressive enough, and you've got the mainline Democrats are tired of having to go on cable shows and do interviews after Nancy has botched it, after she has misspoken. You know, when she and Chuck E. Cheese Schumer were going to talk about that day that the president made them look ridiculous when he took them to task, sitting in the room in front of the press corps. And they gathered together like a scene out of American Gothic, you know, Chuck holding the pitchfork and Nancy just standing there. You realize that in that 3 or 4 minute little press conference they did, Nancy never blinked. Her eyes were completely dilated, if she just had another Botox injection and was unable of blinking. But now that this is being pointed out by the president and members of his staff, that Nancy is the one that's incoherent, Now they're starting to provide cover fire. They're starting to question all of these videos as they're fraudulent. What you just saw was not fraudulent. That was Nancy Pelosi at the border talking incoherently. Why? Because she's incoherent. She gives all the signs, I'm sorry, of whether it's dementia. I don't know if she's an alcoholic and a pill popper on top of it, but much like Hillary Rodham Clinton needed handlers to cover for, so does Nancy Pelosi. That being said, the narrative, the visual, is in Trump's favor. Now, while Morning Schmuck tried to make the point that, well, if you compare videos of Donald Trump today, he's nothing like the Donald Trump of the 90s. Let me give you a really careful analysis and insightful response to what Joe Scarborough said. Duh! That was 20 plus years ago. Donald Trump is 20 years older. Donald Trump shows absolutely no signs of dementia. He shows no signs of slowing down. His doctor and the White House medical staff have given him a clean bill of health, total thumbs up. He's up and working and averaging 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and he's just go, getting things done despite the opposition that he has to deal with within his own party, the Democrats, and the lying, corrupt media like CNN and MSNBC, and people like, Joe, dead intern in his office, Scarborough. Oh, did I really just go there? And the fact that, he goes ahead and leaves his own wife, steals Mika from her husband, and, she poses next to him for publicity shots for their show with her legs spread like she's a pole dancer at a gentleman's club. That's Mika Brzezinski, and she's going to stand there and try to lecture us that we don't really understand the real Nancy Pelosi. Oh, yes, we do. She is Cruella demented. She is bat crap crazy. We could sit here and for hours I could just provide you video clip after video clip after video clip of just how incoherent she is. But rather than do that, I'll just simply give you a best of. I played this the other day, and that it's really Nancy who needs an intervention.
Today is the 1st of May. Hooray, hooray, the 1st of May, we used to say when I was a little girl. It was either called Memorial Day or Decoration Day. That's history to you. It's my youth. Oh, I don't support it, but it's not, again, it's not like, in other words, there's an emergency. There's a burning building. We have to put out the fire. I'm not going to have a conversation about the color of the buckets that the water is in. I don't know if these people were all sprung from the head of Zeus, or maybe they're all Native Americans. Bless their hearts. But somebody came from someplace. Do you have any questions? I was thinking about it on Sunday when I was praying for the Republicans in church, as I do at least every Sunday. I pray for the Democrats and the Republicans, for our country. Whatever his name is, ISA, and this is why I've said this is a game changer, that it's a whole new ball game. This is me throwing up a ball. I think so. I think so. I think so, yeah. Congratulations to sportsmanship. Just kick the can a little bit, not even down the road, but down the path a little bit. I don't know if it's conventional, but it wasn't wisdom. Take it off the table.
He's publicly said...
Take it off the table. It's just, don't mess with the children. Well, I do think the House of Representatives at this time is an unsafe place for children and other living things. The bishops talk about a baby Jesus. What would we do if Moses had not been accepted by the Pharaoh's family? We wouldn't have the 10 Commandments. They don't know. Is that the one where we're singing, We Shall Overcome? Well, what's to think? You mean that I was smiling and singing and... Maybe they were being pulled too tightly, I don't know. Anyway, I just loved yesterday. I just thought it was the best thing. think that's some kind of an acronym, but I get these acronyms all mixed up. But it starts with bank on American Opportunity Tax, American Student, bank on student, so that BOSEL. Does that mean anything? No. Because we are sophisticated. Now, I used to be on the street. You know, I was an advocate. I had the signs 30 years. Single payer, single payer, single payer. Public option I never heard of. Single payer.
Again, the visuals do not lie. These have not been altered or doctored. Donald Trump called a press conference. He explained what happened in the meeting. Bottom line, look, if you people are going to keep calling me a liar, a traitor, a criminal, accusing me of cover-up, we can't then come in here and sit down and pretend we're going to work nice together. Nancy and Chuck come out, he was yelling, he was... Where's the video? Where's the video of this so-called incoherent behavior? Where's the video of these so-called signs of dementia? Where? Where? We've got it in spades on Nancy Botox Pelosi. And Chucky Schumer, you don't want to go down this road either, pal. Because you have whiffed and waffed and waffled on every single issue. And we have the video footage to prove it. So you want to be really careful, you media whores that can't help yourselves, but spread your lips before TV cameras, always wanting to pontificate and give your opinion about Republicans. And Nancy is praying for Republicans and praying for the president. You lying lush. You absolute lying lush. And by the way, to the person who in my comment section yesterday said, what kind of pastor are you? You know, you're supposed to follow the 10 Commandments and you're bearing false witness. I'm bearing false witness. The media working with the Democrats have borne false witness against this president every single day, and they ramped it up the day after the election. And it has been relentless, and it has been nonstop. Just call me the equalizer, baby, but I'm not bearing false witness. Like the president, I am declassifying the stupidity of the Democrats and exposing it right here. This is the channel you need to subscribe to. Tell your friends about it. Hit the like button, smack the bell, and get my next rant.